Welcome back, everyone, to another fine episode here of The Long Dark with me, Deadman Command, and this, of course, our playthrough with Will the Mac here. We're going to jump right back into it. As we said last episode, our goal here in these next few episodes will be get to Pleasant Valley so we can drop off our new wolfskin coat, and then bring back a pair of rabbit skin gloves, or at least the materials to do that, back here. It's not looking very inviting right now, so we might just prep everything and then see what we want to bring. Well, let's bring a little bit of food. We'll pick up brings a little bit of water. Yeah, because we're at 1.2, that's not that much. Bring the wolfskin coat. I should probably bring a bedroll. We have enough of them here anyway. 83%. That one's angled, so I've never touched that one, so I'm going to use that one. Yeah, we've got the 86% one here too, so we'll take the wolfskin coat. I think we've got a storm lantern there, so we don't really need to worry about it. We've got 5 storm lanterns here, so why don't we take the one that's in good condition. Actually, you know what? Let's break this one down while we wait for the weather to change. And I think that'll be good. Gotta take the jerry can so we can get the fuel back. Yeah, I think an hour here should be good enough to cycle the time, see if the storm passes, and see if we can't get a better... That 4 liters out of 4 liters. I should have checked if we'd had maximum stuff right there. Yeah, well, what do you do? Sounds like it is pretty windy out there still, so... That's a bit too bad. Let's at least peek, see what we're looking at. See if it's gotten better or worse. If it's got worse, we'll just do what we do and, make some time at here. It's coming from a bad angle, too. That's the direction you need to walk in. Man, that is cool as shit. Okay. Yeah, we are not going out there this time. A little disappointing, but also a bit unsurprising as well. Five, okay. Well, I suppose while we're here, we can just fix up one of these things. Take the 80%. Take a little bit of cloth here. We may as well fix up our clothing while we wait for the weather to change. And we can actually, actions, repair, 40%, 17, 40 minutes, sure. Fishing tackle, none. And none. 50 minutes, or 40 minutes. Yeah, that's fine with 50 minutes. I'm okay with that. Without having to use, I guess you're just stuffing cloth back into the bedroll here. I suppose we can take a quick peek. I mean, it takes a while to get back to Pleasant Valley, but... I think we'll be okay. 10 hours? Yeah, we could probably squeeze it. We'll have to, it might get a little bit tricky there for a while. But, okay, we've got torch. We've got tinder. We'll have one match, so let's grab some matches and maybe a tinder plug or 2. And we do have the clothing that we want, right? Yep. We do. Okay, let's drink a little bit of water. Staying in the warmness here for as long as possible. Do we want to take our better clothing? Probably smart, especially since it is a bit chilly out there. Let's bring the coat, and I think we'll be good enough there. That's a couple degree difference right there. Yeah, everything else is good to go, so let's head back out and get this rolling. So, we are leaving now on our adventure to head back to Pleasant Valley. Uh-oh, looks like it's getting kind of cold again. We're at -6. That's not ideal, especially with this kind of situation. But I have a torch with me. We've got a couple of matches and everything like that. We should be okay. Doesn't appear to be any animals in the immediate vicinity here. So we should be okay. It has been a few days since I've tried to get back to Pleasant Valley, but if I'm not mistaken, you just have to climb up here quite a bit. Climb, climb, climb. Back up here, past the watchtower, the fire watchtower, and then you know, we'll go back up, take the cave back, and go from there. It is only one cave transition zone, I should say, between here and Pleasant Valley, but it is a long walk once we get in Pleasant Valley back to the farmhouse. We are going to try and cut some corners here. I don't know how well it's going to work out for us by just going pretty much straight up the hill. Looks like we should... Looks like the cliff here might stop us from really getting that far. Yeah. Alright, looking pretty good here. Playing the Division. See, one of my friends is playing Division. He must have just gotten it because he hasn't said anything about it. I don't know. I'm just not interested in that kind of game. Just seems... I mean, yeah, all games are a little bit repetitive and a little bit, you know, similar and things like that. But, I don't know. I just find things like Destiny and Division and a lot of MMO games like that. Just, I don't know. The things that they have you repeat, you know, the repetitive nature of those games don't appeal to me nearly as much as other things. And I mean, there's definitely patterns to all sorts of games. Like, I mean, even Long Dark here. I mean, it's you getting some pretty good routines. You know, hunting, fishing, making clothing, surviving, and everything. But there, I mean, there's not only a story element to it, but there's not also like a lot of other things that are trying to attract your attention. It is simply a, are you able to get away with, you know, surviving against all these odds that we throw against you? And I find the I mean, yeah, it's semi-adversarial, I guess you could say. But it's not like enemies. It's just, here are a bunch of conditions that we're going to present to you. What can you do to make the best of your situation? And I like that. I mean, there's plenty of different things you can do. If it's good, you know, decent weather, you can go out for an expedition like we're doing here. If it's bad weather, just stick around and repair clothing in preparation for those future things. You know, boil some water, stock up some supplies that you see, break down all the furniture in there. There's plenty of things that you can do. And I guess I just prefer that, and I guess it's, I mean, you could say it's more of like a PvE kind of scenario because you're against, you know, the enemies, but it's more of a PvE environment in this situation. And yeah, there's wolves and stuff like that, but there's plenty you can do to that. And I guess just the man-shootiness of you know, Destiny and the Division and things like that. Just, I think at this point, you know, a lot of games players have done that before. Don't get me wrong, obviously with the success of, you know, Call of Duties and now more recently the Division, which sold like gangbusters, people want to play that game. That's cool. That's cool. People want to watch that game too, which is, you know, it's exciting. It's interesting, and I think people appreciate, you know, the the min-maxingness of it, just like any old, just like we did. A lot of people did, myself included, in Diablo back in the day, especially Diablo 2. Oh man, put so many hours into that game. Looking for higher level things, figuring out the best strategies and the best, character builds and things like that. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess, kind of got it out of my system. There are definitely some games that I prefer, and I don't mind, some shooting and everything like that. Yeah, Edward, I agree. I mean, the continually dying and respawning and everything, there's no weight to it. Oh yeah, you could lose some equipment or some silliness like that. I completely missed my entrance, by the way. Getting distracted while I was talking. I definitely was supposed to go the other way, but hopefully we don't freeze to death out here. That's the thing, if you stop paying attention here, you're gonna die. Yeah, it's just the die and respawn, and I mean, you clear an area here, yeah, the animals will come back, but like once you've scavenged an area, somehow in New York, for example, in a post-New York apocalyptic New York, apparently there's countless people still roaming around in there, and whatever disease apparently is terrible at killing people because there's hundreds and hundreds of enemies for you to kill. Plus, I really hate that the thing that bugs me the most about it is that it's supposed to be a Tom Clancy game, but all the classic Tom Clancy games were much more skewed. Like your warfighters, and your advanced warfighters, and especially your Rainbow Sixes, like modern examples somewhat aside, they're much more realistic, as a game goes, in the damages that weapons do and everything. That you're not like soaking hundreds and hundreds of rounds into your enemies. You're shooting them once or twice and then they die, because that's what happens when you shoot someone once or twice. They usually die, especially when you shoot them with like a shotgun or a high-powered rifle and things like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitching here, but I did realize I dropped my meat. I should probably pick that up. But I'm playing a much better game, in my opinion, so I'm happy to be here playing for all of you. I hope you're enjoying it. Again, let me know what you guys think. For games like that, there's definitely an appeal to a lot of them, and I agree with it. But it's just not what I'm looking for in games these days. Plus, I mean, when you have more limited time to play and things like that. Oh, apparently the one area I haven't gone to before. In the mine here. Oh. Guess there's a lot of that. It's just... Yeah, exactly. There's a weight to staying alive here. In this game and other games like it. Crates and everything like that. Man, it has been a long time since I've gone through the areas here. Yeah, when you die in the long dark, you are dead, and there's no coming back from it. Your game instantly autosaves and you die, and that's unfortunate. But what are you gonna do? And also you have all that work that you've done to stay alive and all this effort, especially in a longer run like this. Like we're on day 90, we're on 93 now, almost 94, and that's that's essentially like a whole season. A whole winter season, if it played like that. But again, one of the game aspects of it is that you're just trying to survive as long as you can. Hundreds and hundreds of days in the winter that never stops. Apparently there's been some areas here that I just have not explored. And considering how many times I've wandered through here, that's somewhat concerning. Well, not concerning. It's actually more exciting than anything else. Here's the stairs, so we're back at the entrance area. And there's only like a couple of branching ways that it goes in both of these mines here, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is fun to see that we are, still finding little bits here, little bits there. 8 hours of daylight left, so we should have plenty of room. Plenty of opportunity to get back to there. I don't think we ever need to cut down that shelf, so I think we're doing just fine there. Ooh, looks like it's actually a lot warmer than here than it was in Coastal Highway, which is nice. Yeah, we don't really want to jump down that cliff there. And again, speaking of cliffs and things like that, I've been looking out for opportunities to use like a climbing rope, like the one that you get in what is it, Timberwolf Mountain, that we have stashed in our hut there. I think that'd be really fun to use it in a non-Timberwolf location, but I just don't know if there's the hookups anywhere else. I know there's at least one in Timberwolf Mountain that we've run into, but I didn't have the gear on me because it's extremely heavy. It's 5 kilograms to carry that thing around. But we did find one on one of the far ends of the cave system that comes out, I believe, near where the arch is. Still have it on us? Yeah, examine. So there's our hut. Let's see if I can. There we go, rotate it. It's out here by the arch. It's way up there is where the rope setup is, and it's a certain shaped rock. It's a nice plopped, just kind of conical rock, and it has a an interaction pop-up right there that you can hook up the rope to it and then shimmy on down, which I think is where it wants you to add it up. Yes, I do see the deer over there, but I'm not going to do anything with it. Except luckily have it run in front of us, so if there's a wolf, it can distract someone. Picking up some sticks for the eventual fire here. I have no idea if there's going to be any food in the farmhouse. I've just kind of thought about that. I have absolutely no idea. I'll have to check the journal, see how long it's been since I last made an entry about the food. I really don't think we're going to get the 25-day achievement. I think it may be that you need to start out with 25 days, which is damn near impossible in my opinion. Eating just food. You'd have to start out in Mystery Lake and essentially focus on just doing that, because that is the best lake for getting cattails. And then you'd probably want to come out here fairly soon. Just thinking about it, because it has a decent amount of cattails here, and that's really the plants that you eat. You could get a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of Timberwolf too. A decent amount. There's a lot of rose hips and stuff like that, but those aren't very useful when it comes to caloric intake. The teas give a little, but it's only like 100, 150 at most. Stuff like that, so we'll have to see how that goes. Let's head up over here, following the road, of course, since that's going to bring us back to our farmhouse. It looks like here's the little village area. So we're, I'd say, most-ish of the way there. Maybe about halfway or so. No animals here. And I guess it actually is a shorter journey to the farmhouse than I was remembering. Definitely to Desolation Point, it's quite a ways. It's like 8 or 10 hours at least to get to Desolation Point's lighthouse. Okay. Made me do it. pretty chilly here. Come on, stay warm, stay warm, stay warm. Okay, we're heavy, but that's fine. That's 5C, we're good. Let's drink a little bit of water just to get us back in. We've definitely now got food, so we're good to go there. How heavy are we? 31, kind of dropping carrying capacity, unfortunately. Let's head back. I know we can try and cut a corner here, you know, based on, instead of following the road exactly. We've got the time and the temperature though, so maybe we just to be a little safer, we stay on the road here a little bit more than what I'm used to doing. You gotta remember that we do have some old man's beard back at the coastal highway, but we've got so much cloth we can just rid those advantages. I'm not too worried about bringing anything like that back or something like that. Looking over here, looking at a pretty nice day. We've got some beautiful mountains in the backgrounds. I do love the kind of blue texture that they used on, you know, the blue colorish that they used on the faraway mountains and everything like that. I really do like that that look there. How long will we stay in Pleasant Valley? That's a good question. You know, we can do some rabbit hunting here. If a bear's in the area, we may consider that. We can practice maybe some of our bow, you know, our bow usage here, and go from there maybe. We'll see. So, you know, if we want to set some rabbit traps out there, we'd probably want to stay here for at least a day or two. I think we'll have some time, I think, today to set them out, which I think we'll do. Just, you know, get some hides at the very least. The food is kind of a secondary concern. Okay, there's one of those slat bridges. I think that looks like the, yep, that's the barn out there, so we're good there. We're definitely getting close. Once we hit the barn, we'll just have the big field in front of us, and then we'll be back at Pleasant Valley Farmhouse. The Pleasant Homestead, I believe is what it's called, officially. Speaking of Pleasant Homestead, we are getting, well, that's kind of an awkward transition there. But speaking of the Long Dark, since we're playing it, we're getting pretty close to the release there. Probably within about, I mean, it's pretty close to April now, at the time of this recording. I think April, May-ish, maybe. I think the end of April is when, because springtime was the goal for the release of story mode of the Long Dark here. And I mean, it's been in obviously some sort of production for quite some time. I mean, obviously they're going to use all the same maps here, and they're just kind of fleshing out the environments and things like that. But what I think will happen is that it's been in like 100%, we're doing nothing but story mode production, well, bugs, things like that, but really that's just finishing out story mode, because that's much more complicated than just building the maps out here. They have all the structural stuff, the studio has all the structural stuff they need, the maps, the actions of the wolves and the bears and all the other animals and things like that, the hunger and mechanics. I mean, they've gone through 3 or 4 iterations of the status screen there. But not your inventory. Your inventory stayed pretty much the same since I've been playing. I've been playing for a long time. I think I mentioned it before. There's another wolf out there. Let's try and get away from this guy this time. I mean, I've been playing since it was just Pleasant Valley and Mr. Lake, so away from that guy over there. But I think story mode, like it's here in spring this year. I was hoping for like the end of March-ish, but it doesn't look like that's probably going to happen. I think end of April is probably a little bit more realistic in terms of its release. And then if you got pushed into May, honestly, I wouldn't be really surprised considering how just building games works. I mean, in almost every single games project that I've read about and I've followed and everything, crunch comes into it, which sucks because I think it's, you know, you give enough of your life working on a game and things like that. I mean, especially as an artistic endeavor, I mean, you just pour so much of yourself into it. You work so hard for it. I mean, if anyone has seen the documentary that Double Fine did for their Broken Age series, that's, I mean, you just see what a toll it takes on people, and just really wrecks, you know, just people's lives. I mean, that may be going a little overboard on it, but I hate having to see people give so much of their life to work and their job and things like that. Even if it's something you like doing, there's so much more that comes to being a whole person. Anyway, crunch being sucks aside, there's always things that run over. Things take longer than you think. You run into more bugs or something like that. Everything just gets delayed, even if it's for only a couple weeks. I mean, just saw it with Total Warhammer just a couple of weeks ago. That got pushed back. You know, if they'd ever announced a release date before the actual release date, Paradox's Hearts of Iron 4 would have gotten pushed back. I mean, it clearly did because they announced it so long ago. But they finally announced the release date, which will be the 6th of June, D-Day. And Stellaris comes out before then, May 9th. Gonna be good. Gonna be good. But here we are in our Pleasant Valley Farmstead, so staying focused on our Long Dark playthrough here. Let's pop into the area here. We'll drop off all the food. We probably got, yep, some deer hide and everything. Let's jump in the door, drop off our food real quick, and then check out our food situation. Pretty low, okay. Well, it 0.01 kilograms. Apparently, I brought a 9-calorie wolf steak instead of a full-calorie wolf steak. Well, it's a good thing we ran into that. There are some cooked rabbit in here, which I may just gorge myself on. And there's a ton of this stuff. But again, we've had problems with 30%, you know, with low percentage stuff like that. So let's leave the farmhouse. Leaving, I mean. Really just saving again. Making sure that the autosave cycles through. We'll go pick up all this stuff. Since that's clearly all cured now. Because it's been quite a few days since I've been back here. We'll drop a wolf pelt. And these 2 fresh guts. We'll head down into our basement of wonder and treasure. And darkness, obviously. And we have even hacksawed everything here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we did. So, let's see. This was our cabinet for everything. Yep, we now have a full complement of animal skins here. We got the boots, we got the pants, we got the mittens, and we got the coat. We are 4-4-4. Awesome. That's really cool. I like to see that. Got the hide, we got a bunch more gut. We've got a whole bunch of pelts. So we could actually almost make another one here. We've got some rabbit pelts. We could probably make a or we could take, no, we'll probably just make we can make the pants, we can make the boots here if we want to. I know we've got some fletching material here. Let's go put the crow feathers away. Wow, we have a lot of old man's beard like in here. I did not realize we had that much here. That's good. No, that's good. I like to see that. And there's 120 of those. And a little bit more of that. We can put this reclaimed wood in here. Did drop all that stuff, right? Yeah, okay. Oh man, yeah. Final Fantasy 15. Hoo-wee. That just got released, what, yet? Not released, but announced yesterday or the day before, if you want to date this recording. So it's going to get released on the September 30th of this year, 2016. Again, assuming nothing gets in the way of production. But yeah, I really have a large respect for Hinterland Games here. I mean, they've made this fully formed game, fully fleshed out, with a team of, I think there's about a dozen, you know, plus or minus. There's about a dozen people who work there. And they've done an exceptional job. I mean, it's rare that I've gotten so... I don't just like it. I mean, I feel attached to this game here. You just get really get into our characters. We don't have the amazing amount of water stored up there like we do in most of the others. But how are we stacked in terms of wood? Maxed out 15 there. Maxed out 15 there. Okay, here's where we're ditching all the wood. Okay. Why don't we've got about 3 hours left. Why don't we take this opportunity to go grab a little bit more of that wood. We'll also, let's see, put out some snares. And we can put the hunting rifle away. Take the survival bow and maybe some of these broken down arrows. Wait, how many? We have 2 bedrolls here. Alright, well, I guess we didn't really need to bring that. Again, just to be sure, who knows what would have happened. Maybe we would have run into a big storm here. Maybe we could have gotten hurt, something like that. It's just best to be prepared. But I have quite a few bedrolls now. Okay, if I remember correctly, between the door and here, this out here was where the rabbits were. Yep, there's them out there. Obviously we're getting kind of close in the episode here, but that's fine. We'll go put them out there, put the snares out there where they're hanging out, by the edge of the trees pretty much out here. And then we'll go back inside, cook up a bunch of, well, I mean, not a bunch, but at least a little bit of the, hello little rabbits. Cook up a bit of the food. Place that here. Yeah, are there any other games that you guys are looking forward to coming out? I mean, personally, I'm you know, we're not playing things like Darkest Dungeon and The Long Dark. I'm a definite Paradox fan, so definitely excited about Stellaris. Definitely excited about Hearts of Iron 4. I'm really pumped about the changes that they've made. I think it's going to be a lot less grindy than it used to be in the older ones. Hoi 3 was a big step up. I mean, each version of Hearts of Iron has been extremely different. Well, okay, there's been massive changes to each one of them, and each of them have gotten quite a bit better, especially in the terms of how the AI reacts and how the AI can control your own forces. So really excited with the World War Wednesdays that they're doing, showing off a bunch of stuff there. Really excited about that. Obviously, Stellaris looks super awesome. You know, I just love that studio, love those games. I think Final Fantasy 15 will be really cool when it comes out. I don't know if I'll play it since I don't own any consoles. Well, I have a PS2, but I don't think it's coming out for that. So I'm definitely a PC Master Race kind of person here. But hey, we're all watching on Twitch, so good start there. Other than that, I mean, those will probably eat up all the time that work will allow me to. I'm close to finishing out the Darkest Dungeon campaign that I've been going for quite some time. Getting into Stardew Valley some, as I think some of you have watched the Let's Plays that I've had on that. It's all in the YouTube stuff down below if you want to check that out. Take a couple sticks here. Yeah, we got 2 hours. A little tired, but that's okay. We've been walking for quite some time. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that it took so long for Final Fantasy 15 to come out. I mean, it's been years since a decent one came out. 12 was big. I don't really remember what 13 or 14. I think 14 was the MMO one. I think 13 was another. Oh yeah, 13 was Lightning, and all the versions of that. That was all right. Yeah, it's been since Lightning, and then there's been Lightning Returns and all those one-offs and things like that, which is cool. But they got mixed results out of that. 45 minutes. Yeah, let's risk it. And we're getting a little bit close there. Let's just run back there to make sure we make it before anything untoward happens to our poor survivor here. Yes, I know you're tired. You'll be fine. We're about to go back. It'll be okay. Don't run when you're over encumbered, people. This doesn't lead to any sort of good usage of your energy. All right, let's come in here. We're gonna grab a piece of meat. Do I want to risk some of this stuff? Yeah, why not? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There's the table. There's the stove. Okay, I wanted this one so I can grab all my sticks. Transfer all those. Put the cedar away here. Cardboard, tinder, sticks. What else do we have? Torch, stick, torch. Start the fire there. We'll get another torch when we're done there. Yeah, okay, it was gonna be 13, and they made Lightning 13 for Final Fantasy. Okay, yeah, interesting. I mean, at this point, which amount that they pushed it, Lightning might be... Lightning's probably one of the most recognizable Final Fantasy characters that have been made. I mean, just to be honest with you. Ever, what do you think of Lightning? Obviously, I think she's a fun character. They've definitely fleshed out her entire story. She's got 3 whole Final Fantasies dedicated to her. I think it's cool. Some people think it's a bit excessive, but I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. They've been good games. And they're well thought out. Maybe not the best, but again, it's some of the classics are pretty intense too. So the amount that they've been marketing her and those games has been pretty intense. Let's eat here. Hopefully we get lucky. Come on, come on. Okay, we're good. Good. So we get lucky again. Looks like we did. Okay, so we don't have to take the pills, which is nice. Let's sleep for 10 hours here. Ah, we got the calories. We'll sleep for 11. Let's be luxurious. Well, we're going to call that one an episode here, so thanks for watching, everybody. We did a nice trek to here at Pleasant Valley, which will probably kick around here for a couple days, maybe, and see what we do there. So thanks for watching. We'll see you then. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe, like, and follow, and have a good time. We'll see you then.